I give to you, straight from Canada, Amir.
Hola.
Look, he even has his own lower third because I'm classy. All right, so I've been giving out some of my runners up as I wait for you, Amir.
Oh, okay.
So far I said Die Hard and Lethal Weapon were in my runner-ups. Are you
All right.
familiar with either?
Yes, they're great Christmas movies.
Lethal Weapon 1 is a Christmas movie. After
So is
that,
Die Hard.
Die Hard 1
Die Hard
and
is a
2.
Christmas movie.
Yes. Die Hard 1 is the best Christmas movie. I'm kind of doing, these are the things that just made it outside the top 3. Then, Kill Bill. I wanted a Kill Bill thing just so I could get like 7 different versions of Beatrix Kiddo, Bill, Bud, a Hanzo sword, Hattori Hanzo. There's so many things you could do.
So I'm feeling your list is all movies.
No, there's a lot of TV too. In fact, someone just said they could always do cartoon Toxic Invaders. I have some cartoons on the list. What about, so when I say Neca and cartoons, I'm thinking about like the way they did Turtles with the really dark black lines to make it really exaggerated, like they did the cell shading the right way on like Hasbro. Sorry, Hasbro. Yeah, that's kind of my thought. Hold on, let me finish my runners up. Hold on, runners up.
Well, they're not runner-ups. They are ones I wish NECA went back into. I would like NECA to go back into Godzilla.
Oh, of course you would.
If they promise not to only make Godzillas, that would be ideal.
What else is there? Matthew Broderick?
No. As in, like, they just make Godzilla, but 30 different types of Godzillas, rather than any of his monsters, like the other monsters. So if they were gonna make, King Kong and Godzilla only, then it's like a bit boring. I'd rather have, Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah, Hidorah. There's the Swamp.
I don't know who any of these people are.
Soon enough, Godzilla will take over. And then I also wanted Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim, that would have been interesting. We got Pacific Rim figures, didn't we?
NECA doesn't really NECA. I know
NECA did.
They make like the main character. That was it. And then they were before making all the kaiju's, but then they stopped. And now you go on eBay, they're like 5x their price.
Looks like Diamond Select owns the license now.
We'll see. How it goes.
That means they're going to have 7 points of articulation. What else you got for runners up?
Those were my favorite too. Then there was one called Dota and LOL. They're video games.
Don't know either of them.
Each one has a roster of over like 100 characters. It would be nice to
so it's Super Smash Brothers, apparently.
Whoa, foreshadowing.
Oh shit. Oh, bleep, I should say. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I made a boo-boo. All right, so then before we get to Amir, here's one I thought Amir would pick. Like, I thought this is outside my top 3 because one of the reasons I didn't put it in, I'm like, well, there's no chance Amir does not pick this. And that's Breaking Bad. I thought Amir would be all over Breaking Bad. Like Lab Colt Walter, Bald Walter, Heisenberg Walter.
Science, Jesse, and...
You can get regular Gus,
Jesse.
Fried chicken Gus, blown
Half
up
Gus?
without a face Gus. Yeah. Are you familiar with the original Ghostbusters?
Yes, I am.
The original. With Tracy the monkey?
No, I guess not now. Now you're saying something.
Hold on, it's the Filmation Ghostbusters. They were what I had before the other Ghostbusters. Like, to me, this is the Ghostbusters that matter, man. There we go. Filmation Ghostbusters, those guys. Do you remember them?
No, thankfully, no.
Really? Oh, I have such a fondness from them for their whole one season on TV that I would love to see them get made again. And it has, like, the coolest bad guys, like Prime Evil.
At this point, why don't you just do Scooby-Doo?
No, screw Scooby-Doo. These guys were awesome. I love these guys.
Talk about Scooby-Doo, man.
No.
Instead of a dog, they have a monkey.
Scooby-Doo, you're going to end up like, you have to make all the Harlem Globetrotters then.
So what's wrong with that?
I don't need Harlem Globetrotters.
That could be a special wave.
I'm going to really quick go through all the stuff that didn't even make the first cut. So first off, we'll do the cartoons. Street Sharks. Everybody loves Street Sharks. Then there's Cops, Fighting Crime in Future Time. I'm saying all these things that were before Amir was born. South Park. Hear me out. I know we've gotten South Park figures, but they could do the whole world of South Park. It'd be great.
Well, I just saw Yu-Gi-Oh! There's somebody here said, I would like to see Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be interesting. Captain Caveman and Son would be cool. I also have The Godfather, because we've not gotten anything good there, and the accessories would be awesome. Parks and Rec, The Munsters, Game of Thrones, even though we got it from McFarlane, it just wasn't good. Pulp Fiction, and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So those are all the things that almost made it.
So nothing on your list is something that's made by somebody else, and you just think somebody else can do it better?
Well, Game of Thrones was done by McFarlane, I believe. They have Dance of Dragons coming, figures of them coming out soon.
Isn't there like WizKids also?
I think so. They hoard that license around to everybody. I said
Doesn't Hasbro have that license also now?
I don't think they have Game of Thrones.
No, Lord of the Rings.
No, that's Diamond has that, the solo license.
No, I think Hasbro, because Wizards of the Gulf Coast are doing a collab with them.
Well, they probably have the license to do some things, just not figures. Cops, I know Hasbro owns Cops. Which, if we got, like, I'm telling you, if we would have gotten, like, a Cops line, this is what you would have heard from me. And if you're wondering if I got a soundboard, the answer is yes. And yes. I can't help but play with it, because I think it's awesome. So those are all my runners-up. So now, here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to have, I'm going to need your help. So we're going to do, like, polls here in the chat. Okay, so we're gonna see who wins.
I know they are your audience, so they gotta be impartial rulers.
Be impartial to Amir's crappy picks. So basically, what I'm saying is, don't rule right away. Give it a second before you make a decision. Amir, since you are the visitor, you get to go first. Who's your number 3?
Okay, my number 3. So I'm obviously a big gaming nerd, so a lot of my picks are games related, I guess. So my number 3 is Warhammer, actually. It's the whole Games Workshop franchise. So I think McFarlane, yes, I do know that Joy Toy and McFarlane make it, but McFarlane, they're doing it at 7-inch. And I know why he's doing it 7-inch, because, he's mastered it or whatnot, and he likes that size, but it's the wrong scale. Because for Warhammer, you have bigger figures. And now McFarlane has, like, he pigeonholed himself into either making huge figures, because everything Warhammer is either, human-sized or gigantic 2-meter tall monsters. And so now everything we get from McFarlane's either going to be 7-inch colossal or a giant thing, and then you can't even go do tanks and everything else because they're going to be huge. And so I don't think we can get a lot of good figures. Joy Toy, while I like the scale, they are on the higher end. So Neca, they tend to be really good at getting that $30 to $50 range. Joy Toy starts at $60.
Yeah, I can see Neca doing really well with that, especially because they seem to not have an issue. They're not stuck on the idea of reusing body molds over and over and over. So, like, your giant characters get the same size figure as your not giant characters.
Yeah, you get also like the tiny bots, and you got the pizza monsters.
Yeah.
So you can get like a nice variety. I think it's just nice to have a middle-ranged product, because that was the problem with Godzilla. Like, we're stuck with only high-end Godzilla figures now. There's no NECA. And then there's like Playmates, which is like for 10-year-olds. All the middle collectors with nothing, they have to either get like the $10 figures or the $100+ figures.
Well, I can tell you that my number 3, so you guys got Amir's number 3, it is Warhammer. My number 3, to my knowledge, has never had a toy line. So, I'm going to build this up here. My number 3 is quite possibly the greatest TV show of all time. And I already said Breaking Bad in the runners-up, so it can't be that. My number 3 would have a near endless cast of characters to make. Now, there wouldn't be any monsters or anything. It wouldn't work. But you could do a play set, maybe, of a strip club. And why not? You could do, like, a strip club, and I can't think of any other play. Oh, you could do a clubhouse, because my number 3...
What's the line?
I haven't said it yet. I'm just teasing.
Grand Theft Auto, I don't know.
No, my number 3 is the greatest TV show of all time, premiering in 1999, The Sopranos. When I say Sopranos, I'm saying that we got to get like a season 1 Tony. You got to get a Silvio, a Paulie. That's like your first 3 figures, right? Like, that's easy. Then we got to get a Carmela so that we can all throw her away because she's annoying. He's like, oh, Tony, why'd you gotta do that, Tony? You're not the gabagool. He could get his mistresses. That would go over well. Like, it would just say on the packaging, Tony's mistress. So that would be great in Target. Like, yes, we got to have a Bada Bing strip club. Who am I missing here? Oh, the guy whose name I can't say. Big P Word. He'd be great. He'd be awesome. Who else? We can get AJ. And then we can get, like, Fat Tony, Not So Fat Tony. We can get, like, dead people. There's so much you can do. And since they don't seem to care about violence, perfect. Oh, Christopher. And he'd be like, yo, T, there's these guys in here talking about Pokemon. I think we need to get in on this. Like, it would be great. I would love to see it. So yes, my number 3 is Pokemon. So now I got to go to the chat and say, what would you rather see NECA acquire, Pokemon or The Sopranos?
What? I didn't say Pokemon.
Wait, what did I say? Oh, I'm sorry, not Pokemon. Warhammer and The Sopranos. Pokemon on my mind, apparently. Warhammer, Sopranos. What's it going to be, folks?
I heard you rigged the polls.
I did not rig the polls.
Well, I want to see the polls. I want to see maybe just the loud few want Sopranos over.
Listen, I set up a poll on there. It's on Twitter. I did.
Okay, it's 0-0. I don't know how you're calling that a victory. Fake news.
Listen, it's in the chat. The chat, if you think about it, the chat's kind of like polling before an election.
No.
It just gives us a good idea. Now, there's going to be some sort of a margin for error, I believe they call it.
Warhammer people, come on. We need some cards. We need some hive tyrants. They can do a lot of cool monsters.
Blade Star 2 says that Warhammer is the only thing McFarlane does well. Oh, right now, Amir, this poll is not going well for you. I'm still learning my buttons, folks.
I asked for a recount.
Still learning my buttons. As you can see, the Sopranos are taking this right now, 71%.
There's only 7 votes, and there are how many people in this chat room?
Amir, that's a margin for error. The chat room has spoken. People want to see Paulie Walnuts in plastic form.
There are 77 people in this chat. I think we should at least get like another 20 votes.
Well, listen, it's not over yet. We'll let that sit there.
Not for what, God?
As more people come in, we'll say, if you're just joining us here live, we are doing a top 3 franchises, licenses, if you will, that we would like to see NECA get and make a toy line with. I started off with The Sopranos, and honestly, it would probably be an 8-inch line, similar to what they did for things like Christmas Vacation or Ace Ventura, with the actual clothing. And then I would want like Paulie Walnuts to come in his like white tank top thing. That'd be awesome. So right now, Sopranos is pretty clearly, it was the better choice to begin with. I think everyone can admit to that.
I have faith in the children of the Emperor, and they will all come out and vote for me.
They've done Terminator, which Amir didn't know until he started doing research for this list for Christopher in here.
They haven't done it in so long, so I didn't expect them to have the Terminator license, because I would be shitting out Arnold Schwarzenegger's left and right if I had that license, right?
You would think, but they're pretty good. Coney in his black coat would be dope. It would. Everyone would buy Tony figures. You got to think that the females from the show would be the ones that people are not super great about. Other than that, I don't think anyone wants Carmella. Everybody's going to want Adriana. Who are we kidding? All right, let's move on to our number 2s. For our the second one I like, and I am doing these in order. So Sopranos was my number 3. Amir, what is your number 2?
Okay, so my number 2 is any of the Blizzard franchise. So StarCraft and Warcraft and Diablo.
What the hell is that?
If you are a gamer,
is StarCraft the one with the fox?
No, StarCraft is the one with Protoss, Zerg, and Terran. And, well, Diablo is Diablo. I don't know if you played Diablo, it has barbarians and sorcerers and necromancers. And Warcraft, you have orcs and humans, undead elves, and good elves, bad elves.
Warcraft, I know. I never could get into it because my computer was never good enough. Oh, Amir, you're making a comeback here. It's down to 54% Sopranos on the first one.
Yes!
All right.
This is the...
Oh, Sopranos went back up to 58%. All right.
We'll see.
Now, moving on to my number 2. Yours was what? StarCraft /
anything in the Blizzard franchise. So you get all the Heroes of the Storm, you get all the StarCraft, you get all the Warcraft, and you get Diablo. So I think there's that's a huge roster of characters that they can do, and they're all similar size, so you can just make a giant display. I personally would love to have a Protoss Zealot. So they have they're essentially soldiers with lightsabers in their hands, and you got Zergs, Zerglings, Hydralisk. Oh, it's a crazy world, and I would just love to have some good figures for them. And I don't think anybody's making any good figures I don't think anybody has the license for it, so it's definitely a franchise that I feel is not being shown some love in the plastic form.
Okay, that makes sense, which is ironic because the one that I have, I would say it's gotten some love. There has been a lot of merchandise made, but there hasn't been a toy line that's definitive. With The Simpsons, I think it was Playmates who did that toy line in the late 90s. Everyone was in love with it. They had great chases, and it was just so cool. It was such a nice nod to the show. If only there was another cartoon
See,
on
I see it.
Fox.
Bruce is up for some 40K figures.
Okay.
Bruce,
wait for
please
it.
vote on the Twitter poll.
All right. So, Amir, for his number 2 is the Blizzard.
Yeah, all the Blizzard's franchises, I guess.
Now mine. So, Amir has StarCraft, Warcraft, Diablo, the Wizard world, if you will. I'm going to a different world. It's not even a world, really. It's more of a, I guess you'd call it a state. And it is the state of Rhode Island. So we start off in New Jersey with the Sopranos. Now we're going to head up to Rhode Island and visit the Griffin family with our Family Guy toy line. Guys, this would be groundbreakingly incredible. So there are so many characters to make. They could get so deep in this. Like, I know that you couldn't make a lot of the things that are like spoofs of characters. I would do many things for a Herbert the Pervert figure. That guy is like that. It would be so cool. Quagmire, Herbert, Peter, Joe, Bonnie. There's so many things you could do, and then do it in that same style as the cartoon turtles, where like the lines are exaggerated. I think it would be awesome. There's your vote for round 2. Is it Family Guy? Is it Star Wars, Warcraft, Diablo? The poll is now...
StarCraft!
Oh, StarCraft. My bad. It's just another Star Wars rep-off, you guys know. The poll is now live on Twitter. So both polls are there. Round 1, there. Round 2 is there. Let's see. I did tag Neca so that they can be like, oh, wow, this random guy on Twitter with 800 followers says we should make Sopranos toys. We should probably make that multi-million-dollar investment.
You should also look at the other vote of Warhammer and be like, oh, Warhammer, yeah, that's a great license to get. Because everybody's really hot right now on it, And there's so much more content there. It's an infinite world of content. While, a few movies, you only got like 20, 30 characters. Warhammer, you got 30, 40 characters per world.
I gotta be honest, I'm not feeling good about my chances right now on round 2. It seems like I might lose this round. I see a lot of people...
Honest. The good people know.
I see a lot of people like the Ladies Man here saying that we need more South Park toys. Ladies Man, I agree with you on that. But they did not make the cut, but they were in the earlier listing.
Matt, have you tagged me? I have a Twitter account.
You have a Twitter account?
Yeah, I better be tagged on this.
Did you know you had a Twitter account?
I do. I just now remembered that I do have a Twitter account.
I'll tag you on it here in a few. Oh, Sucker Punch. I never saw that one, you guys. I'm sorry.
My Twitter is Toy_Snowman.
Listen, you need to... All right, let me figure out how to tag somebody. I don't think you can edit tweets. I will retweet it at you.
It's fine. I'll win the third poll, because as you can see, I'm slowly winning on all these polls now.
I see a 71% for Family Guy, Amir.
Really?
And I see 50... Oh, I don't want to talk about the other one. People need to get in there and vote for Sopranos. What are you guys doing? How's Warhammer winning?
Yes! The Emperor protects!
No, I almost clicked, as I was like trying to tag you, I almost clicked on something I probably shouldn't have. It was like Snow Bunny something.
Huge amount of followers, vote
for. We need to get these Sopranos figures made, and we're not going to do it with 46% of the vote. It's just not going to happen. Amir, are you getting a selfie series?
No, because my head's too big. It would not be proportionate because they don't have the models to put my giant head. It'll be like having a watermelon, because like I'm not really square head, so I doesn't look good in
I have a bald head.
Yeah, but see, it's circular. It's like an egg.
Oh, like an egg. Nice. All right, I think it's time to go to number 1. So, without further ado, Amir, you're going to lose this one. I apologize.
Oh, really? Okay, then why don't you show me Mr. Confidence?
Oh, you go first. Me to go first? Okay, well, hold on.
Go first.
I'll go first.
Can't wait to smash yours.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do actually feel a little nervous on this one because I know where he's going with his. Ladies and gentlemen of the so-called jury, I would like to say to you today, in front of all these witnesses, that while Amir is going to come out here and he's going to premiere Super Smash Brothers, possibly just Nintendo, I am instead going to go a different direction. Now, we started off in New Jersey with The Sopranos. Then we got on the New York Turnpike and headed up north to Rhode Island with Family Guy. But now we're going to get back on that turnpike, and we're heading to my home state of Pennsylvania. Does anyone know where I'm going with this yet?
The Office or something?
We're going to Scranton, Pennsylvania. It's The Office. That's right. It amazes me that we haven't gotten the Office figures. The variations are endless. The amount of random accessories that NECA is known for. So, for example, Pam Beesly would come with her painting of The Office. She'd also come with her white sneakers. Everyone comes with a Dundee. Michael Scott would come with like a bunch of random crap from his office. Dwight would come with Crumpschnickel. Angela would come with cats. Creed would come with lento beans and other random old man stuff. There's just so much. There's just so much. The Office, folks. All right, Amir, it is your.
All right. So as you know, since my franchise is just so huge that it's impossible not to say it. Yes, it is the Nintendo franchise. So essentially, you're gonna get Super Smash Brothers. So that's your Pokemon, your Mario, your Bowser's,
I feel like this is
your Kirby's, and all of that great Nintendo stuff. I think NECA would make an amazing figures because I would love to have like a little Bowser, in the same NECA, figure line, or like Yoshi. All these great figures. It would be amazing if NECA had that license. You even get Pokemons, which it's a huge, it's the biggest brand in the world. So it'd be great just to have. 900 different types of Pokemon. It's an endless supply of figures. Yeah, for me, it was pretty easy that, they should definitely have this license.
All right, so you guys, he made a very good try here. Obviously, it's going to be hard to vote for him. I mean, while I think that's a good one, he can't do this over The Office. Like, they haven't done a terrible job with this license over at Jack Pacific. The poll's now up, so the polls are all up. Right now, let's go visit the polls, see how we're doing. Oh my goodness, this is nuts. We are in a dead heap on Sopranos versus Warhammer. 50-50, folks. I'm a little surprised. I'm also...
surprised that we're not crushing you.
Yes.
Blood from the blood god. We should be murdering you right now.
Listen, Tony would come
Where's
in...
my orcs? Where's my wog?
Yeah, Tony would come in and
all
he'd whack
the
it.
terms here.
Then we got Family Guy taking the win right now. Family Guy's looking pretty good, guys. Looking good. And let's see if anyone's voted on the new one yet.
You couldn't vote for Diablo.
The Office, 100%, Amir.
It's one vote. It's
100%.
It's one vote.
Dude.
Come on, guys. Just run him over. Show him the Nintendo.
No.
The
do
Smash
not do
roster.
this. Don't do it, Michael. Not
Pokemon,
Dwight.
Mario.
Oh, okay. Super Smash is up to 25%. I'll see how it is.
1 out of 3 votes. Come on, guys. Everybody knows that the Nintendo Smash roster would be amazing. What's the best line for NECA? It's Turtles. And the Turtles.
Which Turtles? There's a couple Turtles lines.
And the Turtles by far are the best line. So then that's why, having Smash and Turtles would be so good because that cartoon look, NECA is so good at it. And the entire Super Smash line is cartoon. So
what accessories could they come with? NECA is known for their accessories. Like, are they all going to come with turtle shells and mushrooms?
What, for Smash? There's like a billion weapons in Smash.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is.
Like, Yoshi can come with an egg. I think you're overstating Smash Brothers. Sorry.
It's in the Smash roster. So, 16-bit, it's the Smash roster. So, everybody in Smash Ultimate, which is like 30, 40 characters, but it can still continue from there.
All right, let's go. We got our first question. Amir, let's answer this together because I think we're going to have the same answer. Who is the best USA maker of toys? On 3. 1, 2, 3. 4 Horsemen. Yeah.
Yeah. Knew it.
It ain't close. It ain't close.
They're by far like the kindest to retailers, and they're the most fair. And like honestly, the way their business works helps us way better than any of the other lines. Just because, first of all, like margins is terrible everywhere else, but them they're actually decent.
Yeah.
And nobody has their community is so well connected.
Yeah,
like it's just it's organized. Like whenever you go to any of the 4 Horsemen websites, so the Cabal, everybody there is super understanding and super like friendly and helpful. So it's very mature and non-toxic. Which
it's very odd for a toy community.
It's very odd to have that in the toy world. Okay, I hope you're not bribing everybody to get those votes.
I am not. I'm asking questions.
All right, because I have the Canada Post here, so I just need to give them the boxes or
No, you go right ahead. Did you ever get scammed into buying anything fake, knockoff?
No, because we just deal with wholesale distributors. So
So far. Yeah, but I didn't know if, as I didn't know, I know this is our first time venturing into China. I didn't know if you've had any other issues.
I mean, we might get scammed now. We'll find out.
Yeah. Best-selling toy line for you, we had the question. I know it's different than mine.
By which metric?
Let's go with sales, money.
Like, just, so not profit, just revenue?
Just rev.
It's probably like G.I. Joe's or Transformers.
I thought you were going to say Transformers, but Joe's making the run.
Yeah, it's between those two. It really depends on the year and the line.
Yeah.
Like, I think last year was definitely Joe's, but then the year before that was Transformers, and then this year, well, this year's not done yet, but it's looking like Joe's. So
definitely Star Wars for me. Any NECA previews you know about as a retailer? Negative for me. I don't think you do either.
I know less than him.
Yeah, so NECA's pretty cool in how they handle this. So they have they'll send out a email to all the retailers at the same time, and then it's like a race to see who gets it on the store first. Like, it depends on if I notice the email before I can get it up there before the other stores do.
I have to wait for my distributor.
Yeah, he doesn't get to buy direct in Canada. He has to go through another distributor.
So I have to ask the distributor, and they will tell me, yeah, on Wednesday we'll update the website. So that's why usually I put it up on Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning, because that's when the Canadian distributor puts it up. I mean, sometimes Diamond, they put it up on time, but they're also a bit late. So usually I'm like Wednesday night or Thursday morning, I get the NECA news for Canada, because we're just like behind here, I guess.
Neither of us buy. I saw a couple questions about if either of us buy collections. I can speak for both of us. Neither of us do. Too much labor intensive in it, and I feel like I'm ripping you people off and doing it. It's just not worth it in the end.
It's also like really hard. Like, example, like some figures are like a collection's he's only gonna have one of a single figure, and for us it takes us like 5 to 10 minutes to set up a SKU on the website.
Yeah. And it doesn't sound like much, but it adds up real quick.
Yeah, so it's like, here's 10 figures. Okay, I'm gonna spend whatever, an hour putting up these 10 figures. And then it's like, yeah, but each one I'm gonna get for like $3 of profit, and then it's like working for $3 of profit if it sells. I know we're both into the volume game, right? So we just want to sell like 20, 30, 40 of a single figure. So buying a collection that has only one figure, then you have to make a SKU for it, doesn't make really sense for us.
Have the recent costs with items going up and shipping issues hit you guys? And will you have to raise prices to match, as we do understand? Yeah, so yes, without a doubt. Like, it has been no bueno. Especially what kills me is inbound shipping. So shipping from the distributor to me. That is probably the biggest hit, because it gets out of hand sometimes.
So for us, because we raised our free shipping threshold, because about a year ago we had our free shipping at $99 Canadian, and now we moved it to $125 Canadian for free shipping, and the US at $99 for free shipping. And before it was a bit cheaper, but we just couldn't afford it because our cost is correlated to the fuel surcharge, and the price of fuel just went up. So if I don't drive a car but I use like Canada Post and all our shipping agencies, they're charging us the gas prices. So as the gas price goes up, we're paying more, and we have a flat rate shipping. So it's killer for us when we see the gas price go up, because we know we're paying that proportion in our shipping. So I don't know, like we already raised our price last year or early this year. So we're hoping that gas prices are going down now a bit. So hopefully we won't need to do anything about that.
Someone had a good question. Do we get to pick what you want, or do you have to buy the whole wave? Either. So
both.
Yeah, with Hasbro, you can buy assortments or solid cases. But the solid cases usually are, like 60 to 90 days behind?
Okay, well, there's also that they are code-named. So sometimes you don't even know what you're buying.
Most of the time.
So that's like a huge problem with buying solids, is that you just don't know what you're buying. Like, it's wave 2 of What If Wave. What are you going to order? It's like, I'll take, Snapples and pineapple. I'll take 6 cases of those. It's like, what are they? No idea. It's called Snapple and pineapple, right? So that's why sometimes it's just safer to order the wave from as a retailer, just because at least you'll get one of each character, and people tend to buy the waves to get the bath. So
And
it's
it
a safer
really
bet.
is, it depends so much on the line and the type. Like we're kind of talking more legends here with baths. So for them, I'll usually do a blanket of anywhere between 10 and 20 cases to start with. And that's because that's if I don't know anything.
Yeah, there have been rare occasions where the solids come in first, but I
It's
don't
not
know. I can
often.
probably like say less than 5 times a year, a wave the solids will come before the wave, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's like almost you can't really count on it. You got to count on the assortments coming in first.
Yeah. What franchises do you think would be better with a different company, and what company? I would love to see Hasbro lose Star Wars and Marvel, and I never thought I'd say that. I would like to see someone else get a shot at it, specifically Star Wars. Like, we've never seen anybody except for Hasbro / Kenner. And, maybe it's just a bad day that I'm saying that. I'm just kind of bitter with their pricing strategy right now. Truth is, I don't know who I'd like to see them. McFarlane would be interesting with a gigantic license like that to see how it went. Mattel would probably do a good job. I think Mattel does a hell of a job on wrestling figures. And they seem to be doing a great job on the Origins line.
For me, I like Hasbro. Like honestly, as much as we people like complain about Hasbro, I think we don't give them enough credit. They are one of the most communicative companies. Like Matt couldn't talk with Mattel for till date, right? And when he did, they told him, "Oh, we don't care about you. You're too small." So Mattel, I definitely don't want them to get any good license. Hasbro, at least they communicate quite often. Whether the communication is great or not, sure, it's debatable, but at least they do communicate. Honestly, I like Hasbro as a company. It's rich coming from somebody who sells 80% of their product is Hasbro, but at the same time, my other companies, they don't communicate as much. We're all passionate with their products because we love Marvel, we love Star Wars. But at the same time, like I don't trust Mattel or McFarlane to do good for me because I know McFarlane are going to squeeze my margins and they're only going to promote their own line or they're going to promote Amazon and Walmart. So they're going to definitely leave me in the dust, which is why I'm dropping McFarlane. Neca, they're not mainstream. So Neca doesn't have the distribution as Hasbro. Who else is there that we can say can make? Like nobody is on that scale of Hasbro and still communicate. There is a Hasbro fan channel, right? We are able to talk with Hasbro. While all the other ones, they don't really talk to any smaller retailers. As much as people like
See,
hate
in
Hasbro,
Canada, you can talk to them. Here in the States, good luck. Like, I'm able to talk to, like, the Marvel guys because of YouTube. If I did not have, like, a big YouTube presence, I would not get to talk to anybody.
I mean, there are people on YouTube with, like, 2,000 followers that have appeared on the Hasbro
that was part of a strategy. I would say it didn't work out
there are
well.
smaller YouTubers. You don't have to be huge, but
yeah, no, but I'm just saying that, like, as a retailer, I get zero attention. So with Hasbro, we don't buy direct from Hasbro. Amir does in Canada. In the States, there's a very big minimum, and I can't even get them to tell me what it is, so I don't order with them. McFarlane at least tells you what it is, but it's absolutely insane. You have to have a brick and mortar store. You have to spend at least $100K a year, and your first order has to be $30K. So that ain't happening. A lot of questions about like NECA kind of slowing down on everything for Turtles. I'm guessing that's a licensing thing. They probably have Turtles licensed for a certain amount of time.
I know there's a huge I'm hoping that NECA just doesn't know, but I hope that they do find out that there's huge corruption for NECA in Canada. In Canada, we have Toys R Us, right? And the owner of Toys R Us is also the owner of the distributor for NECA. The distributor chooses who the exclusives go to, and they decided to distribute to themselves. And obviously, it's a bit shitty because, well, you have the distributor of a company favoring themselves and giving themselves the distribution and then pumping up the pricing. So distribution in Canada for NECA really sucks because the same person who owns the distributor also owns the retail outlet. So it really screws up distribution in Canada. And I hope somebody in NECA like says, hey, you can't be the distributor and the retailer. Like that's just messed up. It's really unfair because like they just like, oh yeah, we'll give to the other channels way later. It's like that doesn't make sense. Like we ordered before you, and now we're waiting like a year later. We still haven't received our products. And then they decide, oh yeah, these are exclusive now. They're going to only go to Toys R Us. I'm like, oh come on, that's just crap, right? Because before the pandemic, distribution for NECA was bad, but at least it was handled by all fan channels, and people were able to get our comic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and any of those exclusives that you have in the US. We were able to give it through the fan channel, and the products were always available. Now it's not, and it's only through Toys R Us, which I think is complete crap.
Can you get any of that stuff from Diamond?
Some things, but all the exclusives they decided to give it to themselves, so they've cut off.
And I'm sure Diamond is probably not cost effective.
It just really, it burns me so much that they've done that, because just before the pandemic, we were like happily distributing all the Neca products, and everybody in Canada was able to at least somehow get the exclusives. Like, exclusives was not the trouble in Canada, but now that because the owner of Toys R Us and the distributor is the same company, it's gone to shit, to be honest.
All right, here's a cool question. As retailers, if given the chance by Hasbro, would you buy a large quantity of the HasLab, the Engine of Vengeance, or let it fail? Oh, I'd let it fail. If this was Galactus or a Sentinel, I'd be all over. But that, not a chance. Not a chance.
So as a retailer, I did buy the HasLab and the Galactus. I also bought the Razor Crest. I am also paying for the HasLabs and buying the ones that I like. So I didn't fund the Engine of Vengeance.
Well, he's asking if we were allowed to buy more than 5, would we?
Well, I bought more than 5. So.
Well, listen, you and your ways, I'm sure. Someone made a comment, I lost it, about how it's crappy that Hasbro doesn't tell us what we're buying. The reason is largely secrecy and Disney. Like, a lot of the time...
Mouse.
What's that? The House of Mouse. I ain't kidding. Like, they don't... Like, the mouse does not want us to know spoilers.
Like, when we are... So, for up here in Canada, when we are told... Like this was before the pandemic, when they were... less online, only few stores were online. So when we had to sign in like 2 NDAs, one of them is like the Hasbro NDA, and then the other one's a Disney NDA. And the Disney NDA is like 3 pages, and it's like, you gotta be alone in a room, you can't have windows in that room, or your monitor has to be only seen by you, and you have to like rub your fingernails off the wall and stuff. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, and like,
if someone else sees this, they'll turn to stone, so don't let them look.
And if you're looking at the screen will have your name, which you're viewing from, across the screen as a filter. So if you take a screenshot, your name will be in that screenshot, and they will know who the leak is. Disney is very, very protective of their IP. So
they paid enough for it, so I get it. This is an interesting comment. Do we think Hasbro shipped all the Q1 stuff because their stock price is tanking and they need to sell things before Christmas? I don't think that's the case. I think it's more of a case of they just made up dates that were so far in the future because people were complaining about things not coming out on time. What do you think?
So they were giving us large ETAs of like 6 months. Like, so obviously as a retailer, we're like, okay, between January and July. So we're like, okay, the safe bet is just to say July, because everybody else was saying July too. So there was no way we were going to say January while everybody else was saying July, right? And it's also like the pandemic has taught us all not to expect things early. We just all went with it. So.
Except now I have $100,000 of toys in my basement that I wasn't ready for.
Yeah, so now it's like, now they're giving us ETAs like, yeah, expect it between next month and 3 months from now. And you're like, I don't know, that's 3 months. And you just announced it. So is it really going to be here next month? Probably not, right? And then it actually does come in.
I actually just had the Ghost Rider ship. Didn't that just go up like 3 weeks ago?
Oh, the retro Ghost Rider?
Yeah. Wait, how has Hasbro spoiled us influencers? First off, I'm not an influencer. I am a business toy person. Hasbro did spoil us in some ways, though. They would send out a lot of money.
Hasbro has not done anything for me yet.
Hasbro has not spoiled Amir.
To be on their stream.
So now that I'm not getting anything because they stopped doing it, I can say this. Because before it's like, wow, I don't want to tell them this is a bad idea. I'm enjoying getting free stuff. But as a business person, that was a really not good idea. They'd send out a decent amount of product to influencers. Like the last HasCon or PulseCon last year, they sent us out a box with about $400 worth of toys in it for each
I'm
each
so
person.
jealous. I didn't get that.
Yeah, like it was great. I gave it all away except for the Cantina set. That was all mine. But like that, you're not getting any return on that investment. It's just not great.
So who's winning on... You know, we're not talking about our...
Hold on, we got to catch up on comments. Hasbro guy said that Disney makes them do new properties. Oh, yeah, I'm sure they do. Like, they have to do Andor. I'm sure they don't want to do Andor. ToySnowman is a terrible online store.
Yeah. Thank you for the shout-out, Martin.
Biggest online toy seller, Entertainment Earth, followed by Big Bad.
It depends. It's Big Bad by far.
No, Entertainment Earth sells more than Big Bad.
No, it does not. Have you seen I've checked the traffic.
Oh, no, the traffic's not even close. You're right about that. Not even
close. Big Bad has... in the 7s of millions.
Yeah, Big Bad's traffic is bizarre.
Pulse and EE are less than like 3 to put together. So
See, I don't know. I'm curious to see how that would actually stack up. But you're probably right. Anyone back the Eternia set? Listen, a lot of people angry about the price on that Eternia set. I thought it wasn't a bad deal. A 3-foot by 4-foot play set of plastic in this economy? Amir, what
This
do you
economy?
say? Yeah. What say you on that?
There's so many other lines I'd prefer to collect. Like, for me personally, I started opening up all my Joy Toys. And
which ones? The
it's the Warhammer Joy
ones?
Toys. These ones.
I'm going to go back to the polls for a second. I'm not going to quite show them yet because I want to tease them first. One is in a dead heat, completely tied. Which one do you think's tied?
Well, I mean, last time I thought it was the Warhammer and Sopranos.
That is no longer tied.
I'm confident in my people. You know, Cadia still stands.
You really think that Warhammer is beating the Sopranos?
It should definitely beat it. It should crush it.
Okay,
you don't know us fanboys, man.
It is beating
Superman.
it.
Henry Cavill is a Warhammer nerd.
All right, 57% for Warhammer right now.
Yes.
Family Guy, Star Tours, StarCraft, Warcraft, Diablo, 50-50 dead heat. As much as I hate to say it, Mario is winning.
Oh, yes!
K-Dog wants to know if Amir carries G.I. Joe Classified. Have you ever heard of those?
It is only my number one seller, right?
Number one seller.
We still have like Cobra Trooper Islands. We still got Vipers in stock. We got a bunch. Just check it out, man. If you're in Canada, you have free shipping over $125.
Joy Toy Rocks. We got a Joy Toy Rocks comment. I have never held a Joy Toy yet.
Joy Toys are all here. Listen, there is... See, what I love about... See, this is why McFarlane can't do this in a reasonable scale.
Oh, yeah.
See, how is McFarlane going to make this guy here? Like, my camera's terrible.
Yes, it is. Back up. Okay, there you go. What is that?
Is a Space Marine Redemptor Dreadnought.
Oh.
This thing is massive, right?
It's also like $7,000.
McFarlane can't make it to a reasonable scale. I mean, they could try, but then it's going to look terrible. And like, there are so many of these figures. By making it small, it's easy enough to army build. Because army building a 7-inch figure is like I'll show you right here. It's a bit bad.
This fella. He's just trying to get you guys to go vote for Warhammer. Go change your vote to the Sopranos.
No. See, here's you can't really like army build this properly. This is a McFarlane figure. Well, this guy here. Well, okay, I have him choking my Imperial Guardsman, but
nerd.
Look at that. See, you can army build this.
True.
See, we have Austin, who I love Warhammer and The Sopranos, so you know.
Well, then choose The Sopranos. Here's a great comment. It's kind of weird that G.I. Joe is the best seller in Canada because it's an American hero.
You know what? We're like brothers in arms, so it should make sense. And plus, you know, G.I. Joe's has army builders, which skews the numbers, right? Because it's like you can't really have that many army builders. Like, you only need one Darth Vader. Almost everybody in the bad guys for G.I. Joe's are army builders because they're all like faceless and bad guys. So it skews the results because it's like, you know, we can sell 200 BATs, but we'll only sell like half as much or a quarter as much as Revas and, you know, Darth Vaders and Obi-Wans because you only need one of them. Plus, it's more of the content for Star Wars has been a bit lackluster lately. If Star Wars content is not there, people are not reminded. They don't feel like buying Star Wars figures, right? Like when Mandalorian was out, Star Wars was definitely our best seller for that year when Mandalorian first came out.
Speaking of Mandalorian, someone says you sound like Mando. I disagree.
Pascal?
Yes.
This is the way?
We got another one. This guy buys his toys from some place called Toy. I don't understand this little emoji.
ToySnowman?
Toy Olaf.
Astonishing using. Oh, Kumar, man. What's up, man?
Oh, look, here's Mando. But I know that that is the case usually.
Vote for the Star Wars. Vote for Warhammer. I agree.
How high can you mark up figures? Are you allowed to? We could sell figures for any price we want. They don't ever give us a maximum. They do give us a minimum sometimes. Nobody follows it, apparently, for McFarlane. McFarlane, you're not supposed to sell it for less than $20, but I see it for less than $20 all the time, which annoys me.
There's very limited because, like, if you put a price more than $1 or $2 above MSRP, people will complain. They'll be like, "Oh man, I can get it from Amazon for
unless it's Toy Whiz for whatever reason."
Like,
Toy Whiz will sell things at like $35 and they still exist. I don't understand that.
It's too tough to go above MSRP because everybody here just has the same price, so it doesn't make sense to go above it.
Yeah, I mean, like, so for me, I charge, it's pretty much a standard. We charge $1 over MSRP. So we're $1 over Amazon. And my thought on that is it's $1 more to guarantee that you're dealing with human beings who understand how to deal with collectors. And it's the customer service fee, basically. All right, guys, let's go to one final look and see how we're doing. All right, final numbers. The Sopranos wins with 42.3% of the vote.
Crushing defeat. That is my people.
Next up, Family Guy wins easily, hands down. Tie goes to the host.
What?
And Super Smash Brothers is smashing.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, Amir, I'll hand it to you.
For Canada.
Canada wins this one. Every once in a while, we have to let Canada win something.
You know, I gotta say, your audience is very impartial, and I love you all. It's great that you all voted very impartially and in favor of me over Matt, who is a gracious host.
Thank you all very much. I am indeed. So without further ado, remember, you got to get old, but you don't have to grow up.